AI search platforms like ChatGPT and Perplexity are transforming how consumers discover products. We actually saw that in our Gen Z session yesterday, where the Gen Zs were talking about how they're actually putting photos of themselves into ChatGPT to see what kind of glasses would fit their face profile. So it's so now. And we know, given these AI tools, that consumers are rapidly adopting these technologies. So today, we're really lucky. We have Botify here. They're going to break down what's changing, what's not, how these AI platforms differ from traditional search engines, and why they're quickly becoming the new front door for e-commerce. So it is my pleasure to get to introduce AJ Gergich, Global VP of Consulting Services at Botify. AJ.
Good to be back. Good to be back. A little bit of housekeeping. My CEO would like me to let you know that these are palm trees and not marijuana leaves on my shirt. So we're in the clear. Also, pro tip, it's hot outside. Do not recommend. You know where it's not hot? Wisconsin. I just got back from Wisconsin on a family trip. It was great. The beer was flowing. Cheese curds were on point. And I'm not from Wisconsin, but my family all got there, and I have 3 sisters, and we're all there hanging out and having a good time. And the whole time we're there, my mom starts having this opinion on everything that we're doing, which isn't unusual, but she has this opinion on what we're doing, and she goes, hey, you know, Chad says this restaurant isn't good anymore. Chad says, you know, this place isn't good for kids. We shouldn't do that. Chad says this, Chad says that. And about 3 or 4 hours into the trip, I pulled one of my sisters aside and I was like, who the hell is Chad? Nobody in my family's named Chad. Nobody in my friend group is named Chad, right? And so she started laughing and she goes, you know, I blame you for this. You've gotten our mother addicted to ChatGPT, and she just calls it chat now. So it was chat recommends this, chat recommends that. And I think that was about the moment that the sparkle went off in my brain, and I realized that, as the kids say, we're cooked. So a lot of the conversations I have today go very much like the conversation I have with you. You know, people say, hey, AJ, where are we going? How's this all end, right? So we're going to have a quick conversation about where I believe we're going, and then, you know, what does that look like for today, and then what does that look like for tomorrow? So we all kind of moaned, at least I know I did, about the dominance of Google in the ecosystem for a really long time. But decentralization has hit, right? And so now you kind of look back at the days where you had Google as a dominant player and you go, does anybody have any data on Perplexity? Are we getting any conversions from Claude, right? It's a tougher situation because the ecosystem that was once dominated 90% by Google is decentralizing right in front of our faces. I think that'll continue. Right now, it'd be easy to say, well, ChatGPT is going to win and Google's going to win. It's early days. It's very early days. Google was, and don't quote me on this being exactly right, because it's not, but Google was roughly the 14th entry into search engines, right? They weren't the first. And so we don't know yet. So I would predict that decentralization will stay a big trend for the next 3 years or so. Unfortunately for us, we have to check multiple platforms. So with that decentralization, though, I'm kind of thinking about this in a simple from-to, you know? Talk to a lot of CMOs, and the from-to is pretty simple. We're changing interfaces. Your consumer is changing interfaces. She's going from a search interface to a conversational interface. Simple on the surface, but the devil's in the details, right? So you're going from a search and a ranking interface to a conversational interface that's much more about visibility and a lot less about rankings. If you only take away one thing, and maybe this will be it, I want it to be this. AI is the ultimate consumer. AI is your ultimate customer. So hear me on this. AI isn't a technology, it's your customer. And the brands that get that first will win. It's not a technology, it's your customer. And I'm going to give you data points and reasons to believe that that is true, but I believe that with every fiber of my being, that your most dominant customer for the next 10 years is AI itself. So I want you to think about that as we go forward. So agents, talk of the town, still early days. What is an agent? What is a workflow? We get into these conversations. But essentially, I think of an agent as an LLM that can use a tool to do a task autonomously. And in the early days, we are just seeing that arrive specifically with search. So a lot where agents are doing the searching and summarization on your behalf is happening. Eventually, that will, in the next 6 months or so, you'll start to see these agents take extra leaps. The agent will add something to the cart for you, transact, book plane tickets for you. We're not quite there, but we're definitely there on the search side and the summarization side. When I talk to those CMOs, the metaphor I use with AI is that it's sitting between you and your consumer, increasingly. And it can either be a barrier or a bridge between you two. And so, again, like I said, if it's the dominant consumer, if it's the dominant customer, then you have to speak its language so that it isn't a wall between you and the customer. In the future, the majority of the open, wild web will actually be AI talking to AI. Been predicting this for about a year. I have some stats that I'm going to share with you, data actually hot off the press that's just being shared to this audience. That will, again, give you reason to believe that is true. But AI literally will be the predominant user of the free and open web in the future. The last thing I'll say on the prediction front is really about the other hot topic, which is probably just as hot as AI, which is personalization. And I'm reminding brands, you think this is a tech race, right? Like, is Gemini going to win? Is Google going to win? I mean, is Claude going to win? Is ChatGPT? It's not a technology race. It's a personalization race. So think about this. In 6 months, you will be unable to break up with your AI. In 6 months, you'll be unable to break up. Because let me explain it. Let me give you a scenario. 6 months from now, I'm going to force you to use a new AI. Here you go. Oh, hi. I'm AJ. Oh, how old are you? Shoot. Where did you go to high school? Right? I don't want to do this again. I don't want to divorce my AI and start over with a new AI because it knows me. It's learning about me. It knows about my kids. It knows about my family, right? It knows my proclivities. It knows what I'm into. So it's not a technology race. It's a personalization race. And so as brands, as retailers, e-commerce, how do you fit in there? Think it through. Everyone on earth is or is about to be building their personalization foundational layer with their AI. Don't you think your brand should be part of that foundational story? Now is the moment, not 6 months from now, not a year from now. So as everyone builds up this personalization layer, they're going to get more and more addicted, I think might be the word, to chat. And it's going to be harder and harder for them to leave. So brands, now is the time to get in there in that foundational layer as all consumers start to adapt that personalization layer. So I believe that's where we're going. They said not to hit the red button. I just wanted to try it. Okay. So if that's where we're going, what's practical? Where are we today? What do I see right now? The CEO of Google has said that AI mode is the future of Google search. AI mode is mostly rolled out in the US. I would say by the end of the summer, it'll be completely, all of your customers will be on AI mode, whether they know that they're on AI mode or not. They just will be. It's not quite global yet. I would predict by fall it'll be across EMEA. But AI mode will just be Google, whether the consumer knows she's using AI mode or not. So how does AI mode work? This is a very simple, this is not a technical diagram, but it'll get the point across. So AI mode works like a consumer doing what they've always done, a query, a question, right? In this case, running shoes, and I picked specifically for wide feet. So what it does is it does a fan-out search. It anticipates the next 50 things, 25 things she might consider, especially if you give it context like the wide feet. And it Googles them for you. And then it visits all of those sites for you. Then it summarizes for you and brings back all the information. Remember what I was saying. Who then is the dominant customer in that scenario? Who is sitting between you and your consumer in that scenario? The AI. The AI is deciding if you're visible or invisible in that moment. So this is Botify data. So Botify, we have hundreds of global retailers, e-commerce customers across the globe. Everything from the shoes on your feet, the big box retailers you walk into, and also growing startups. So I asked our data science team to pull a cohort of around 300 of your peers. So these are your peers in this data set. And I just wanted to see if what I was predicting is somewhat coming true. Is AI showing up? And our data says resoundingly yes. So since February of this year, we analyzed bot traffic by analyzing all of their log files for all these retailers and e-commerce sites, and it's doubled. It's doubled since February. So it's not coming, it's here. And it's showing up in the data today if you know where to look. A consequence of this, and you could say this is a good thing or a bad thing, depends on where you're at on these steps, is a compression. So right now, imagine any journey, right? Someone is looking for those shoes. Maybe she goes to a forum, goes to a Reddit post, reads an Amazon review, maybe stops, comes back, watches a TikTok, 3 days later, starts. It's a long journey, and it's multi-interface journey, multi-step journey. So we're starting to see, it's still early days, but a compression. Eventually, this will be 3 steps, and maybe she never leaves ChatGPT to begin with. Maybe she never actually visits your website to begin with. And again, then who's visiting your website? It's the AI, right? And they're going to judge you visible or invisible. Here's more Botify data. Again, this is first time anybody's seeing this. We pulled from that same cohort. This is your peers, 100% this is your peers. And this is almost every conversation that I have with a CMO. The left is 2024. Not too bad, not amazing, but not bad. Search impressions up, but clicks pretty steady, doing okay. And I don't even feel like, does anyone feel like 2024 was an awesome year? I mean, it was okay. It wasn't great. Now look at 2025. Look what's happened. So this is data fresh from 2025, fresh from your peers. An explosion in impressions. What does that actually mean? An explosion of impressions. It means an explosion in searches. There's more searches happening on Earth right now than ever before. Good news. Bad news. Less clicks. So everyone I talked to actually I met someone today whose clicks were up. Everyone looked at them like, really? So everyone's clicks are down and everyone's freaking out about it. Everyone's having anxiety about it. So my conversations with CMOs, they go very similar to this. AJ, I feel like there's all this opportunity. I see that there's more activity in search. I see more impressions than I've ever gotten, but my clicks are down. And then, they kind of lean in. It's like, is it just us? And so I'm here to tell you, and your peers' data is here to tell you, you're not crazy. I mean, you might be crazy, but you're not crazy. It's not just happening to you, it's happening to everyone. Everyone is facing the same situation where they're seeing more search, less clicks. So if that's where we're heading, that's where we're at today with the landscape, it kind of begs the question, what should you do tomorrow? Because we have this thing called Black Friday, I'm sure you guys have heard of it, kind of a big deal, staring you down the face. And all of you are doing what right now? You're all planning for Black Friday, right? Everybody's planning for Black Friday, Cyber Monday right now. Or someone's like, oh, I probably should get on that. But yes, you're planning for it right now. And this Black Friday is going to feel a little different because this is going to be the first Black Friday that Gen AI might actually have an impact. A year from now, it's going to have a massive impact, but it'll definitely have an impact on this Black Friday. So one of the first things you need to think about is all the things you've done with traditional search are going to help you win Black Friday. It's all good. So if you've been focused on traditional search, doing the right things, it's going to help you. But there's a problem with the way LLMs work. So let's say I get a tweet right now that OpenAI drops a new model, right? And I call in sick to work tomorrow to play with it. And the moment I get in there, it's going to be 6 months out of date, if not a year, because they're trained on all the world's knowledge, but in a static state, not a dynamic state. So why is that bad for everyone in this room? It's bad because it doesn't know that on Black Friday, your product just went on sale. It doesn't know if it's in stock. It doesn't know that you just dropped a red color of the shoe. It doesn't know anything of dynamic in that nature. So it's a problem for everybody in this room. So what you really need to do and how you win at Black Friday, and if you want to win this Black Friday, is you need to win at live retrieval. So when those tools start to become agentic, start to do searches, start to do the fan-out search on your customer's behalf, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to use the same tools a human would use. They're going to use Bing and Google. And I will remind everybody, you're like, why is Bing up there? Well, Bing, it's like, what's a Bing? Bing is up there because, yeah, I know it's funny. It's 2025 and I'm telling people they need a Bing strategy, but you do. Bing is up there because Microsoft is partnered with OpenAI. They're never going to use Google. So every time that agent searches, it uses Bing. So it's a good time to go dust off the Bing data and look in their webmaster tools and go, hey, how are we looking over there? Haven't looked at you in a little while. Go do that, right? And you need to simulate some of this and make sure that you're actually visible. This one is, no way to sugarcoat it. It's boring, it's not sexy, but you need to do it. So there's an opportunity right now for Gen AI to be a hub for all of your spokes. So if you're a marketer, you have all your different departments. You got your PR, your content, your social, paid media, SEO. They're all spokes in your hub. Gen AI is a great way to unite everybody, but not just in marketing, like legal, IT, engineering. You could all rally around this and create a strategy, because if you don't, I guarantee you what is happening is everything is happening in silos. They're all using different tools, different strategies. Use Gen AI to connect everybody as a hub. I won't read everything on here, but at the very basics, like when I ask somebody, do you have governance in place for what AIs can train on your data and what cannot be trained on your data? Usually I get the answer of no. Do you have any way of telling when an AI bot hits your site, is it a training bot? Like we were talking with a big publisher and they were super excited because their AI traffic jumped. And then we showed them that it was TikTok's training algorithm that was training on their data. It wasn't actual users, it was bots, right? Training on their data. Less exciting, right? So you need AI governance plan. I know it's not super exciting, but you need it. Second is all the world's content is written now for the wrong people. Your content is written for humans and what I'm going to call dumb bots, search bots, bots that could not reason or have a conversation. These bots can. So what does all the world need? What does everybody in this room need? You actually need content that speaks to the new dominant consumer, AI itself. Here's the problem. That doesn't scale. You're not going to go rewrite all of your content tomorrow, right? You can't. It takes too long. So where do you start? Where are we advising everyone to start? Structured data. AI loves structured data. A lot of times it'll read the structured data before it'll read the HTML of the website. So start with the structured data and make sure that you don't fall into the keyword trap of the old world. Don't just put keywords in your structured data. It's red, the wheel height is this on the stroller. No, if you're selling a stroller, you need to say to the mom, hey, this will fold and you can put it easily on the subway. Like this is travel ready. Like intent things that she wants needs to be in that data. I'm going to give you something at the end on this, to a cheat sheet that you guys can just grab. So if you're like, I don't know what structured data is, doesn't matter. Take the cheat sheet, hand it to your Eng team or your SEO team, and tell them to go. So live retrieval, if you can, get Google Chrome extension and turn off JavaScript on your website. Most AIs cannot read JavaScript, and most of our websites are built on JavaScript frameworks. So it can be frightening, but if you can't do it, sit with an engineer and just say, hey, let's bring up our category page, bring up our PDPs. Now turn off JavaScript and refresh. That's usually what the AI is seeing. And so sometimes you're invisible from the jump because AIs can't parse JS. So we're partnered actually with Bing. They have Index now, and it's free. You can use it to actually push your content directly into Bing's index, which is really great for things like Cyber Monday, fast-moving event-based sales, so that the AIs know your content up to date in the second, so you win at live retrieval. You can also focus on pre-rendering if you want to take the next step, so that you're pre-rendering flat HTML, like clean files for AI, makes it a lot easier for them. But if you just had to do those first two, you'll be in good shape. Lastly is the reason why everyone's having anxiety, and you're going to keep having anxiety about your lack of clicks, is because you're using yesterday's metric for tomorrow. Your clicks are going to keep going down. Why? Because you're measuring the wrong thing. We've moved interfaces from search to conversation. Yes, you still have to measure clicks, but you better measure visibility. You better measure Gen AI share of voice, or you're going to keep sending your CMO reports. We're down again, but you're not seeing those clicks. You're seeing ghosts. Those aren't real. How is there more search than ever and less clicks? It's not accurate. Your data is wrong. You're getting more. You're just not measuring it right. So really focus in on measurement and visibility. So to wrap up, AI is your customer. Treat it like a customer, not a technology. What would you do if you had a new customer segment? You'd say, okay, we're going to sell to women. We've always sold to men. Would you just try out the same messaging? No, you wouldn't, right? Where does she like to get her information? How does she like to receive it? Who's she talk to? Where's she at? Treat AI like that. Treat it like a customer, and you'll win. Focus on live retrieval for Black Friday, so you win at the exact precise moment of live retrieval. And then the governance thing, I know it's not super sexy, but you need to do it so that you have control. And then lastly, if you grab this QR code, it's chock full of data from your peers, just like I shared earlier, so I would highly recommend it. And then I slipped in something extra. So I put in a cheat sheet for that structured data. So all I want you to do is go to your Eng or SEO team and say, out of 100 points, how well do we score on his list of structured data? And then if the answer isn't 90 to 100, tell them to go fix it. Use that cheat sheet, and you'll be miles ahead of your competition. And if all else fails, just ask Chad. Thank you, guys.